This series is actually becoming my favorite. And it is a combining of the main tool, the core tool of Tao and Chinese medicine with, I guess it's really indigenous or Western ideas of the other than human residents of the earth. And maybe Western because we think of them in categories, whereas non-Western, truly indigenous, might not even care about separating things out in acknowledgement of the interdependence. But there is an almost alignment between the five elements and these other than human residents and how we can cultivate connection, appreciation, and cultivate a shifting of our human-centric thinking. So some of you know this. It will be a repeat, but I always post these publicly. So it's probably a good idea, not just for Sophie, to go over some of the basics. So we know that it's easier to think about our practice, to understand it and cultivate it when we think about the various facets or elements. When we endeavor to make a practice on our own, or when I endeavor to curate one for you, there are always 5 parts. You can say this, there are 5 parts to any meditation as well, but we're doing Qigong. So we always open or warm up. And even if that opening is to place our feet together, we need to step out of our prosaic life. It empowers our practice to do that, but it's also respectful of the tradition. And we have active parts of our practice, and this is really obvious in Qigong, where we're moving and breathing and doing, I would say, stronger activities. And there's a yin or receptive part. So because we come together for only 90 minutes, I suggest that you have quiet time after class. Because I pack a lot in, I want you to learn these practices and be able to own them. If not tonight, then certainly by the end of our 7-week series. And I will give you a short time, 3-5 minutes at the end, but the traditional wisdom is to have just as long sitting quiet as you've spent active in your practice. And then there is always a closing. Just like we stepped out of our prosaic life to begin our practice, we close our practice so that we can go back into our daily life. And the 5th part, perhaps most important, is the rest of your life. The subtle, I guess, advice is that you don't want to have a beautiful practice and then be careening wreck through the rest of your day. Your practice should serve your life. And then we bring parts of ourselves to any Qigong and inner alchemy practices, the breath, the body, and the mind. If I share an instruction with you and I've skipped the breathing, use your natural breath or ask me about the breathing. If you're standing still, that stillness is the body element, just like large expansive movements, body element. And the mind can either be present and quiet or conjuring really vibrant imagery. Another set, which helps me make sense of all of this, is that we have more than one body. So we're going to do tonight the 5 yin organ qigong, and that is using the 5 elements really on a more physical level. So we'll work with our organs, and we will visualize color and use the breath in a choreographed manner. But because it's kind of a quick-paced qigong, it tends to stay with the body and the energy body, of course, but the physical body. The 6 healing sounds is more quiet and inward focused, and that's where we can go deeper into our emotional and mental body. And near the end of the series, so we won't be able to tackle these tonight, but at the end of the series, we're going to fold in 2 Shen or spirit practices. Actually 3. One is a variation of the 6 healing sounds, which really honors the wisdom of the heart. There's a saying in Chinese that all emotions are energy, but we don't really know what we're feeling until the heart lets us know. It's the heart's wisdom that interprets the energies that are flowing through us. And the other elemental is 5 Shen, or the 5 spirits living in the body. Along with those is the very short, elegant qigong practice, just called 5 elements qigong, which is alchemical rather than physical or mental emotional, meaning that you're opening yourself up to the directions, the seasons, and you actually stand on a bagua. So this is what made me shift from just teaching the 6 healing sounds. Universal Healing Tao is phenomenal, and the 6 healing sounds truly is a gift and a jewel. It is what's missing from Western thinking about our mind and our emotions. But in order to heal, we have to focus on ourselves. This is just common sense. You cannot heal focused outward on others or elsewhere, at least not heal well. But at some point, you have to be healed enough. And at that point, either you just stay inward focused, or you turn outward. You turn outward to face others, but also the earth. In this case, I think it's important. So this is the alignment that I've been working with between the 5 elements and the earth kin. Wood element is really clear and obvious. It's the plant kingdom or the plant kin. When we go into fire, it's the fires of the earth, which is an elemental spirit power, big, but also the fires of the sun, moon, and stars. The earth element is soil, but if you think about all the things that are happening in the soil that we don't really pay much attention to or can't conceive of, the mycelium, the worms, the bugs, metal is, yes, the ore, but it's also in Taoist thinking mountain. And the mountains are also a large elemental force on the earth. It's a wonderful image that the mountains are the memory of the earth. And lastly, water, very much a clear connection of the oceans, lakes, rivers, and even the moisture, and even the swamps, and the fetid waters, as well as the beautiful ones. So I'm going to give you one more slide here, just to remind of where they came from, or what their place is in existence. In Taoist cosmology, which is, we can think of it in terms of energies or energetics. The universe began with an undifferentiated, we call it supreme mystery, but it's just a fertile void is another way to image it. And that fertile void began to separate. It was still chaotic and unformed, but there was this beginning of difference between yin and yang. So I'm going to just assume you know what yin and yang is, because if I start putting attributes on it, we're getting ahead of ourselves. So yin and yang is separating, but it's not relating to, they aren't relating to each other. It is not cohesive. It eventually evolves into this interdependent, always connected, relating of yin and yang. And that's where we get the Tai Chi 2, or the Tai Chi symbol, reminding that the Tai Chi symbol is not flat, it's three-dimensional, it is not still, it is constantly moving and shifting. The next differentiation is where we come up with, or what arises is the 5 elements. This yin-yang, dark and light energy further specifies into fire, wood, earth, metal, and water. We're going to stop there. It differentiates further. You see the 12 animals of the zodiac and the trigrams of the Bhagavad and so forth. But we're not going down that far into the cosmology. We're going to stay with the 5 elements. The 5 elements are not pure, or rarely pure. They are always containing one or more or all of the other elements. They're always shifting. So a perhaps better translation than elements is 5 phases. So we will go through the elements in a certain order in the practices that we're going to do. I think it doesn't matter where you start, but we want to use this generative, creative relationship. We start with the lungs, for instance. Metal actually creates water. There are a couple of images to help us remember that. One is that if you have metal over hot water, condensation is gathered there. It attracts water. The other, more poetic, kind of like it better, is the mountain of metal. When the condensation of clouds, the moisture in clouds hits the mountain, it rains down water. Water, this is very logical, creates wood, because without wood, plants don't grow. Wood fuels fire. That makes sense too. when the wood is burned by the fire, it creates ash, and that's the soil of the earth. And lastly, soil or earth to metal. So we have distributed metal molecules or small pieces within the earth, but it is condensed into ore, into metal by the earth itself. And then we begin the cycle again. There are other cycles. There's a destructive cycle. There's an insulting cycle. Those are generally used by health practitioners. Say someone has way too much fire, the acupuncturist or medical qigong person might insult or destruct the person's fire energy to calm it down. But we don't want to do that because we are not skilled and we are not objective enough to diagnose ourselves. So we're always growing and creating and trusting the practices to bring us to a point of balance, vibrancy, resilience. I want to start practicing, but I also want to make sure I'm not skipping anything. I guess one last point, because I'm reading the book now. I Contain Multitudes by Ed Yong. Maybe turning inward, we're still turning to the earth because he gives a lot of very precise information, but generally it's agreed upon by microbiologists that at most we're half ourselves, half of us is us. The other half is microbes, viruses, bacteria, the microbiome in our belly. So we carry, if the earth element is the smalls, we're carrying the earth in us, turning inward. In fact, we're turning to the earth. We're just shaping that inward turning through our ego. So it's me and mine, but this microbiome, the microbes are our old friends. So let's stand up and do some movement. So stand intuitively. Just stand the way you stand. And bring your mind to your body. Bring your feet under your hips or your shoulders, whichever is more comfortable, but make them parallel. Look down. What feels parallel may well not be. Unlock your knees, which unlocks your ankles and your hips. Point your tailbone to the earth. This engages your abdomen just a little bit. Shoulders are down, of course. Go ahead and tuck your chin a tiny bit. Place your tongue on your upper palate. You only want to tuck your chin enough so that this center crown is directly pointing up to the sky. Last element is the heart. Inhale into your heart. Exhale, settle your heart into the center of your body. One more time. Good. Next, inhale, gather up all of the thoughts and intentions and actions you use to arrive here. Inhale and gather. Exhale them out your feet back to the earth. We were all successful. We don't need them anymore. Inhale and gather them up. Exhale them back to the earth. With your next inhale, gather up all of your plans and anticipations for the evening, the week, and further into the future. Inhale and gather. Exhale them off to the side. They'll still be there when we're done. Inhale and gather. Exhale. So we're going to do an abbreviated version of the Mount Amier shamanic shaking to already bring the 5 elements into our practice. So bring your feet all the way together. Go up on your toes, open your arms, your heart to heaven. Inhale and bring that heavenly energy to your heart as you go down as deeply as you can. Hop to begin. So your shaking can be as small and gentle or big and athletic as you want it to be. I like to try a range to see what my body is enjoying today. Everyone's different, but every day is different for each of us. And then just generally shake your crown. So we want our crown to be porous, to be able to connect with the yang qi of the sky and of heaven. We're going to shake an area. Tonight is going to be our sense organs. And loosen any stuffiness, staleness, stagnation in that area. But to just loosen it isn't really helpful. You want to send it down to the earth. Our stagnant chi is not pollution, but we're not able to use it right now. So we want to send it to the earth. She will take it and pass it on or use it in some other way. And we do that with guang as a seed syllable. But we do that, make that sound with our lips closed. So it sounds like, and we send the sound downward, not outward or in a haphazard manner. So shaking your crown, sending down. Let's do that again. It's the first sound, so little practice. Good. So we're not going to do our organs in the creative cycle. We're going to kind of go down our body. So let's start with our eyes. Shake your eyes. This just means shake your whole body, but bring your focus to your eyes and make sure that they feel shaken. When we shake and care for our eyes are connected to wood element and the liver. So we're helping our liver also. Send any stale energy, any tiredness, overuse out and down. One more time. So a little care for the eyes. Cup your hands. So let's rub our hands first. Warm them up since it's winter time. Cup them and place them over your eyes. You can still shake while you're doing this. And as you inhale, draw in that chi from your warm hands into your eyes, nourishing your eyes. Good. So I'm not going to have you shake and send down because you've just nourished your eyes. You don't want to send the nourishing chi down. There are several little caring things we do for each of the organs. We're just going to do one each today. Let's move to our ears. Shake your ears. Ears are connected to the kidneys, the element water. The ears and the kidneys are easy to remember because they're the same shape. Send down any stuffiness, stagnation from your ears. Again. And there are plenty to do to help the ears, but let's pinch the lobe and pull down. And then do it all around the rest of the ear, like rays from the sun out from the actual ear itself. Good, and then shake the ear. And then the nose. The olfactory metal element, the lungs. So shaking your nose and your sinuses and your nostrils. Sending anything stuffy there down. One more time. And take your longest fingers and kind of make little circles as you go up to your third eye and you're inhaling. And then as you exhale, visualize like a little rain of fresh chi. Looks like this. A couple times. And then the tongue is connected with the heart, the sense of taste, enjoyment. So fire element, and we trill our tongue to release stagnation from that element and our tongue itself. And send down. One more time. And the last is the last. So it's the earth element. We putter our lips. It's not quite a sense as we think of it. It's a sense of being nourished and grounded. And it is the mouth and the spleen and the earth element. And so go to a full body shake. Just shaking anything with a little more attention that is calling out to you. If everything feels good, just shake your whole body. But now we're going to shake a little bigger. We're going to leave the ground. We want this impact in the bottom of our feet. And stop. Stand. Just be in your inner landscape. So we're going to do at least 3 more practices standing. Then we're going to do our water ritual standing also. The next one I want to introduce is, I teach 2 versions of Tugu Nashin. Tugu Nashin means expel the bad, take in the good. One of them is very lung focused. And if anyone joining the series is having lung issues, I'm happy to share that and give you some practice time with it. This one, the one that's lung focused is Wudang Qigong. This one is Mount Amier Qigong. And it is more gentle and more, I would say, contemplative. What we do when we do the full practice is we face each of the cardinal directions, and we're going to start in the north with winter and water. And we'll open by doing several breaths, but after that, the structure is we inhale the color of the direction and the element. It's almost like I'm filling my body with it, right? And then I pause here. So my hands are right in front of my face. To me, this feels like I'm filling myself with the indigo blue, the cold water of winter, and I'm holding this elemental energy, the visualization of the color as I hold my breath. And as I exhale, I make a mudra particular to that direction. Exhale, which I'll show you. Exhale, exhale, exhale until I'm empty. When I can't empty anymore, I flick and I empty more. So just so you're not going blind, you're going through it blindly, but let's go ahead and start the practice. It's really lovely. Hands on the dantian. And the preparatory breath is kind of open-ended, but to align it with the active breathing, it's simply slowly fill our lungs, hold full, and then same cadence, same speed, exhale. So you're matching your inhale and exhale as best you can. Good, rest. Natural breath or two. And before you even start moving, conjure the indigo blue you would like to work with today. You can use other images, but the color is the dominant image. Just remember that it's the water element. The season of the water element is winter. The time of day is nighttime. And the direction is north. So if we were doing this outside, or when you do this on your own, you face north before even starting conjuring your imagery. And next time you empty your lungs, fill yourself with this beautiful winter water indigo. Let it soak in. The mudra is thumb holding the pinky. Exhale, releasing that indigo. Empty, empty more. And try not to take a regulating breath in between, but if you have to, of course, that's fine. But inhale more indigo. Fill yourself, hold it. Take the mudra. Exhale, smooth and long. Empty more. One more time. We're going to do each breath 3 times. Exhale. Now you can take a regulating breath if you need before we move to the next element. So the wood element is the east. When we're doing this with the directions, we would just turn. I'm going to stay facing the camera so you can better see me, but if you want to turn, feel free. Connect with your imagery. What shade of green? Generally, the advice is a spring green because that's the season of the wood element. But if you're called to some deep hunter green, pale green, these practices are more powerful the more we can connect and enjoy them. So the direction of the east, the season of spring, the time of day is morning. Inhale, filling your body with that green. Hold it, soak it up. Mudra is thumb over ring finger. Exhale. Inhale, green. Exhale. Once more. Exhale. A couple regulating natural breaths. As you connect with the red of summer and the fire element of the south, and that warmth and sunshine, midday. Inhale, filling your whole body with that red breath, holding it. Thumb over middle finger. Inhale, red. Exhale. One more. Exhale. Natural breath. And find the beautiful yellow of the earth element that you connect with today. Earth is in the center. We are standing at the center, in the earth element. There is no time of day because your whole day is lived on the earth element. There's no season. All seasons take place on the earth element. However, when seasons change, there's a time of instability And the earth element can rise up to add stability during that transition. So often attributed to late summer, but it can be in between any of the changes of seasons. Connect with that yellow. Inhale. Hold it, soak it up. And the middle finger is over the thumb. Inhale, yellow. Exhale. One more. Exhale. Natural breath. And connect with the beautiful white of the metal element. Can be white light, can be like a crystalline white of snow, can be reflective like metal, refined metal. Metal is the direction of west. It's the dusk, late afternoon. Inhale that white, filling your whole body and holding it. Exhale, the thumb is over the index finger. Inhale, white. Exhale. Last one. Rest. Because we're going to move right into, more or less, the 5 Yin Organ Qigong, which has choreographed breathing also. I want to give you a little bit of time to be with your natural breath, let your blood gases normalize. If there are any questions about that Qigong, feel free. So we started the 2 Guna Shin with the water element because it's winter. But I would like to start, or we usually start these elemental practices with the lungs. And the wonderful thing about 5 Yin Organ Qigong is that you bring together the color that we just used. But then we add to it this exhale of grayness, which helps get rid of the old. So similar to Tubu Nashin, we're taking in the new, getting rid of the old. And at the same time, the physical movements open the physical area of each of these 5 organs. Just reminding that there are 5 other organs. We work with the 5 yin receptive organs in most of our practices, trusting that whatever we gift or heal or nourish in that yin organ will be shared with the yang organ. So we don't have to worry about them so much. May as well include it here, but the yin organ is the lungs. The yang organ is the large intestine. And there's logic to these pairings, some more obvious than others, but that's for another time. So we need to stand maybe a little wider because we want to be grounded as we're breathing and moving and working with these colors and organs and energies. Still want to be parallel footed and unlocked lower body. So the basics of the movement are hands together, palms down, flip, arms open. So whenever you're opening your chest, it's logical, right? We inhale, exhale, inhale. So we don't want to just flap our arms. One main or important consistency in Qigong is you're using your whole body, even if it doesn't look like it. So as I inhale white and I'm opening my chest. You can feel your scapula touching because we want to open our lungs and give them space. We can even rise up and our weight can come forward on our feet a little bit. That's secondary. If it's a distraction, don't do it. But exhale. As you exhale, squeeze your lungs. You're exhaling gray, squeezing, inhaling white, opening. And this is a repetitious Qigong. You can do as few as 3 times, as many as 9 or 10. The guidance is that all the organs should receive similar attention, though. So weight is forward. As I inhale, weight goes on my heels. As I squeeze. Beautiful. And just float the hands down. There are transitions, but we don't really need them today. The next one is water. So that's really the only practice we'll do where I'm going to be down to the floor. Main thing, I might even stay up here so you can see me, but one hand reaches around, the back of that hand is on the opposite kidney. So this is my left hand. I'm connecting with my right kidney. And think about water moving in a circle. So I'm going to do this. And I go down. So you can go all the way down and scoop from the floor. I'm going to stay high so you can see how I'm scooping. And as high as I'm going to go, my hand turns and I kind of wipe my forehead. Scoop that indigo. Exhale, grayness. There's more details to this, but we'll learn them over time. Mainly indigo in, grayness out. Even squeeze that right kidney. Exhale, then switch sides and switch directions. One more. Just gently down. Water eats wood. This is my right side. My liver is here, quite big and quite energetically green. So the liver movement is, I've parked my wrists on just above my hip bones. Can even go down a little bit because we want to keep our lower body front and stable, because we're going to be turning, but we want to turn at the waist. Because when we turn at the waist, we're opening our liver as we inhale green, and then squeezing the liver as we exhale gray. Kind of doing the same thing we did for the lungs, a little easier because no bones here. So I haven't added the sounds. That's okay, we'll do it without sound today. It's just a lot going on. So inhale green, exhale, twist. Inhale. Exhale. One more time. Bring it back and come down. Next organ is the heart. So we begin the heart movement as if we're holding a ball. So not a disc. If I'm here, I can only hold a disc. I want 3 dimensions to my movement. I inhale, and whatever side has the lower arm, I'm going that direction. I turn and I press. That can get a little confusing, but coming back is simple. I just come back and the hands face each other. Inhale red, exhale gray. Inhale red, gray. One more each side. Back to your center and down. So the last elemental movement is earth, and that's the spleen. So we're inhaling yellow into the spleen. And similar, the spleen and the liver tend to be cousins because they're about the same level, and waist twisting helps both of them. So even though we were focused on the liver, the spleen benefited. Same's true for the spleen movement and the liver. So thumb and index, fingers nice and open. Think about holding your thumbs almost to your hairline, a little up. So it's like this. My shoulder girdle, my elbows, my hands, my head stay the same. They don't move. They don't go like this. And I don't shift my weight. So sink a little bit into your hips. That stabilizes, and all the movement should be at your waist. So inhaling yellow into your spleen. Exhale grayness as you twist. Inhale yellow. Exhale gray. Back to the center and down. So the final movement is not elemental. It is called the turtle breath. Basically, we've been working with the energies of our organs. One of the things humans do with emotional energy and elemental energy is we repress it. We can't always digest or express our anger, sadness, fear. So we just have to it hides in our body. And when we do these Qigong, it is released on an elemental energetic level, but that may not be useful to us. However, we can bring any kind of energy into our lower dantian, which is their center of gravity. It's a little lower than our navel and inside our body. That's what this movement does. So basic movement is soft and yin. I inhale. And when I get here, I get kind of yang, and I really want to bring everything into my dantian. So this is the movement I've done as I've sunk down. And I've made that kind of growling noise, glottal exhale. My mind is as, or maybe more important, it's feeling like everything is being pulled in. Can push it in, pulled is a little better, and we do this just maybe 3 times. This is not, even if you're doing 10 repetitions for each element, you only do the turtle breath maybe 3-4 times. So let's try that. Inhale, soft and in. Exhale. Stand back up and inhale. One more time. Good, and then stepping and pushing. Any questions? Yeah, let's do the ritual and then the standing practice. So find your little glass. If it doesn't already have water in it, put some water in it. So reminding that the element is connected to its season, not because that's when the element shines or is most at ease or most plentiful. It's usually when it's most challenged. And water in the wintertime can go through all of its forms in a single day. It can be mist, it can be liquid, it can be ice, it can be sleet. I'm missing. All that transformation, very challenging. We feel it in our body, even if we're not going from solid to liquid ourselves. So take care of your water element. Take care of the water element you provide for your animals and plants and the humidity in the air of your home. This ritual, I think, is beautiful because it's so simple and it helps us remember the preciousness and the longevity of water. So we make a little stand by folding in our middle 2 fingers, and that's where we do this. So I place my water on this little table and then I stabilize it, pinky, thumb, and index finger. It's very stable. And just bring the other hand here to complete the circuit really for a while. Close your eyes and connect with this water. If you think about all the water on the planet, this is just a tiny, tiny bit. But everything's connected, right? So by caring for, honoring this piece of the water, we can bring our mind to honoring, caring for all the water. One way that I think is nice to do this is to invent a biography for your little piece of water. just like energy, water doesn't disappear. It changes form and changes location. It changes how useful it is to human beings, but it's still here with the earth. So this little glass of water I have could have well been part of a swamp that dinosaurs lived in. It could have been part of the Rhine River, the Pacific Ocean. It could have been clouds above the Taj Mahal. And now it's in my simple little glass. Anything with a biography has a little complexity. After appreciating the water for its own self, we can modify it or foster its form, its energetic form, to be most useful to us. The way we do that is we make this mudra, which is called sword hand or sword fingers, and we can cut energy with it. So cutting energy is not destructive, it loosens the energetic structure so we can more easily change that structure. And we just cut like twice in both directions, like tic-tac-toe, cut through the energy of the water. And then with intention, grasp anything in that water that you don't need and send it to the earth. Without trying to figure out what you need, because we usually don't know what we need. Just open your hand and your heart to whomever you use, the universe, your ancestors, the deities, and collect in that hand whatever might be useful, helpful in that water for you today. Gather it and place it. And take it in both hands, appreciating not only is it now as precious as it was before, but aligned with your preciousness. And drink it all down, but swallow it in large swallows that go from your mouth down to your lower dantian. And the last one is socially unacceptable. Little kids know how to do this. Appreciate and enjoy. So the last practice before we sit down is standing as if in water. This is a variation on each one. And returning to looking at your lower body and your structure. Parallel feet, unlocked knees, softened hips, gently engaged abdomen, settled heart, tucked chin, tongue on upper palate. Smile. And traditionally we hold our arms out as if we're in water up to our the bottom of our arms, and our arms are being floated on that water. But I like to imagine that I'm entirely underwater and held up by that water. With each exhale, give yourself over to that holding and relax a little more. Reminding that you are between 60 and 70% water. And then I guess only half of that is you. The other half is microbes, right? It's actually very little of you that you're holding up here. And we don't want to be in still water. Still water is going to spoil. Water that moves is alive. So this gentle, watery movement, using as little effort as possible. Being in the water. So after we part ways, I encourage you to return and do this practice more. I also want us to do at least one, if not two, of the healing sounds. So go ahead and settle your movement. And inhale, bring down heaven. Exhale. Have a seat. So we've already touched on how we use the elements with the organs and the colors. And we're going to add making of sound now. And in future classes, we will add that making of sound to the 5 yin organs as well. We've used just a few of what they call attributes of each of the elements tonight. There are many, many more. You don't ever need to use all of them. I mean, this is a short table. But for the 6 healing sounds, we use several. We continue to inhale that color into the organ and exhale grayness and cloudiness. So even though we're in sitting meditation, we're caring for our energy body and our physical body with that breath. But we're also making space to sit with our troubling emotions. So just as there are 5 colors, 5 organs, 4 directions in the center, there are 5 core difficult emotions. Those are the ones that we spend a heck of a lot of energy avoiding or repressing. If we only were to use this practice to spend 5 breaths safely, allowing those emotions to be, this would be a transformative, deeply transformative practice. We do that, and then we invite in what they call the 5 wisdoms. Kindness, gentleness, centeredness, openness. And we are digesting or metabolizing those difficult emotions and turning that low vibrating energy of those emotions into a higher vibrating energy of the wisdoms. And in Taoism, true compassion is the combination of those five virtues or wisdom. So courage, gentleness, kindness, love, openness, and wholeness. And with each of the first five, so there are 6 sounds, yes, but the 5 elemental sounds also have more subtle movements, but they have the same goal of opening the physical organ space. The last one, the triple warmer, is about just letting go of, similar to the turtle breath with the 5 yin organs, letting go of any free-floating energy, but also kind of reintegrating our body into a whole. And the sounds are not fancy. They're not loud. In fact, if you make them quietly and into your body, which is a little bit of a learning curve, much more profound and powerful than really going, "Sss." This is about display or sending it out. It can be helpful, but if you can, that's the liver sound. Into the organ. Much more useful, much better. So I will leave the volume up to you. In the beginning, if you've never done this before, yes, go loud because you want to connect with and get to know these sounds, and then the process. And then as you do the practice, that's when it really unfolds into something that is, that's amazing. I mean, those of you who know me know that I don't walk around going, it's amazing. I've decided to start saying that about this practice because it changed my life, cured my chronic back pain. I don't know what else it's done for me. I've been doing it for 20 years. But yeah. Any questions? We're just going to move. We'll start with the lungs because I know some people haven't done it in a while. Sophie's never done this. And because we know we breathe with our lungs, that one kind of makes the most sense. And then we'll do the kidneys because we're focusing on the water element and the kidneys because it's winter. Okay, so you should sit well, and you should also, if possible, have your feet on the floor because we'll need that for the kidneys. Feel your sits bones. This chair's too high. Sits bones on the chair and the soles of your feet on the floor. You can ground yourself with your sits bones, feeling the chair. Use it. Because Lao Gong, this is Lao Gong, is so porous, and we're not really using this in the practice when we're breathing and being inside and contemplating. Close the palms. You can do it by clasping your hands or placing them palm down on your thighs. So sit well, close your eyes, just go into your internal landscape. Natural breath. Any areas that are holding tension, invite them to relax. If they don't want to relax, there might be a reason, so let them be. And coalesce your attention in around your lungs. Smile into your lungs or send gratitude, appreciation. Connect with them in a positive and loving way. And add the visual of the color breath. Inhale a beautiful white light. And exhale grayness, cloudiness, smokiness. So we'll do each sound 3 times. The first time after a shorter time, just letting you connect with the color and the breath and the organ. So open your eyes so you can follow me. Inhale and your palms float upward above your head and reverse. Important. Elbows back so your lungs are open. Sound is let your hands float back to your thighs. Stay with your lungs. Stay with that breath. Trust the structure of the practice, of the colors and the breath. Invite into your awareness some of your sadness, grief, melancholy. Just sit with it for a few breaths. Your eyes open. Inhale, palms float up. And give voice to your sadness. And they float back down. Inhale, white light. Exhale, grayness, cloudiness. Don't turn away from your sadness, but open yourself more and sit with your courage. Honor your courage. Eyes open. Inhale, palms float up. Invite any of your sadness that's ready to transform into courage. Return. We're going a little over, but I want us to do the kidneys. So Allow your lungs to return and rest. And float your attention down and back to your kidneys at the level of your waist on either side of your spine. Smile into them, appreciate, connect with them in a loving way. Inhale a rich, deep, dark indigo blue into both kidneys, the whole area. Exhale grayness and cloudiness. Let your eyes flutter open. For the kidneys, go on your toes. So raise your heels, grasp your knees, all of that so you can push your lumbar back and open up the area of the kidneys. The sound is choo, choo. Return. Continue that indigo breath in, the grayness out. And open yourself to sit with some of your fear. Just a little while. Open your eyes, raise your heels, grasp your knees, push your lumbar, and give voice to some of your fear. And return. Don't run away from your fear. But invite into your awareness, into your body, your gentleness. Sit with your gentleness. Let your eyes flutter open. Raise heels, grasp knees, press back your lumbar, and invite any of your fear that's ready to transform into gentleness. And return. So we always in the practice, regardless of where we start, with the he sound, the triple warmer sound. So just inhale, come up to about your third eye, and as you exhale, go of any residue, anything that's in the wrong place or unuseful, 3 times. and brushing down. Any questions? So some of the practices we did almost in their entirety. Some we just sampled, and some we are going to put off until later, the Shen practices. But you should be full of elements.
Thank you. See you next
Very
week.
welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Miranda. See you
Very
next week.
welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you
Happy
very much.
spring, everyone. You're
Bye.
welcome.
Thank you.
Much. Bye-bye.
Bye.